If y'all see this face, it ain't no time to wait. Yeah, sure. Back in with another episode of the We Here Now podcast. I'm your host, as I've been your host. This is episode number 45. So the same host you've been seeing for the past 44 episodes up until this point. I am still your host. Now, y'all know how we like to do this thing. Usually I like to give a little recap of what I got going on the weekend, but I feel like I don't ask y'all enough how y'all week was. So before we get started, obviously it's going to be a rhetorical question because I clearly cannot hear you guys right away. But how was y'all week? Y'all have a good week? Positive week? You didn't let the negative stuff hold you down? You kept pushing? You didn't call off to work? Kids bothering you, but you didn't let that bother you? You still took them outside to the pool because it was nice outside? Y'all week was good? All right, cool. Because, sometimes, it is my podcast, but I can't be forgetting about, the people who are actually supporting and what you guys got going on. Now, usually I talk to you guys individually, or I already know you guys, so I can kind of keep up with you. But for the people who do support and maybe we don't have any conversation at all, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope it's been a good week, and I hope the week just keeps getting better for you. Now back to what I was saying. Now usually I like to start my podcast off with a little weekend recap, and it's come to my attention that it seems like this is just a segment. They got to be cutting the grass right now. I don't think I'll be able to hear that, but usually it's pretty much turned to a segment where it seems that I'm just complaining about my coworkers. Now it could be just how I feel, maybe the lack of what they're able to do, but that's just what happens, it turns into. Now, comes down to a couple things. Now, usually it's an age thing or a lack of work ethic, and that's really the only times I'm ever going to talk about my coworkers, but that seems to be a reoccurring scenario in my life. Now, my other job, not the one with the school, the one where I am delivering parts and goods of a sort. Now, I got a worker, right? Female worker, I guess she's a cool person. I can only judge people based strictly off their work ethic because I don't know these people outside work. Now we have like a little group chat for a group and people like to talk and they go back and forth. Me personally, I'm not doing that. Like I've told y'all before, I don't go to work to make friends. I go to work to do my job and get paid on time. Now, that doesn't mean I just go in there and I'm rude to everybody, but I keep it at bay just because at the end of the day, we're just co-workers and nothing else. Now, granted, I got like two or three people I'll say I will talk to outside of work, but it's based off how they work. They come in, they usually have, not the easiest day, but, they're consistent. They don't call off. I can rock people like that. Me and the one homie, Clay, we play Madden and Fortnite and stuff like that. So he is an exception to the rule. Lady that I'm about to talk about, maybe I shouldn't have said lady, but whatever. It's not like y'all gonna find out who it is. Even if y'all do find out about, even if she does find out I was talking about her, I really don't care. Anyways, we got this worker. Now, everybody probably experienced type works like this. Somebody that you work with is like, they constantly make excuses or they constantly complain. If you don't have any coworkers like that you can think of off the top of your head, you are probably that worker who calls off a lot and is lazy. Take that for what it is. And that's the issue I have with this worker. Now, she's only been there, I want to say she's probably been there like 2 or 3 months now. Like she started just a little bit after I started working there. But the thing with her is she always got 1,000 excuses for everything. Now she just got a new car. When I say new, I'm not saying it's a 2024. I don't know if they're making 2025 yet, but it's 2023. So bear with me. It's a car that is fairly new. It's got under, I want to say like 5,000 miles on it, right? Now her thing is, I don't know what is wrong with her punctuality and her inability to be able to get to work, but one time she's supposed to go to work, she's talking about, her car won't start. I don't know what's going on. Keep in mind, it's a brand new car. So it possibly could have been happening, but to me, that just sounds like an excuse. It'll be the day of work, a couple minutes before we're supposed to be there, and she's like, oh, I forgot, my kid had a doctor's appointment. I got taken to the doctor. I won't be in for work. All right, cool. If the kid is really sick, because I'm a person that likes to believe, like, I don't think people are just willingly using their kids to lie on just to get them out of work. Me personally, I don't think it's that serious, but I digress because I don't have kids and I don't know how people with kids actually think. Now this time, well, I'm wrapping this all. This is all gonna make sense. I'm just gonna give you guys a little backstory of how this worker is. Now, I'm back at work at this was Thursday or Friday, I believe. I work my other job. Boom, give me a nice little break. I go to my second job. Now, normal day, normal loadout, whatever you want to call it, everything is good. But it just so happens I didn't have as many clients that day as I normally would. So it was cool. I didn't leave when everybody else got to leave. I got to leave just a little bit later. But for me, it kind of slows my day up because with that being said, I don't get to my first client until about 2 o'clock. When usually I can kind of work in and get to my first client around like 12:15 the earliest. 12:45, 1 o'clock. Is like usually on the closer side to being later. Whatever. I got a smooth route. I think it's gonna be cool. I ain't got that many clients. I'm about to be in and I'm about to be out. I get done. It took me a little longer than I expected, but whatever. It's cool. I'm getting off early. My brother is home from Florida, which we're gonna talk about as well. All right, cool. They're going to a little Rip Fest either. I get off early. I can still make it to the Rip Fest. I get a call. Boom. I gotta go help out one of my coworkers. This coworker that I am talking about, and it turns out that she is sick. She's been throwing up. She's extremely behind. She hasn't been able to get to as many clients as she should have. But at the end of the day, it's like you still came into work. You know what I mean? But anyways, so I go there to help her, and 2 other coworkers come to help me as well, so we can kind of get this knocked out. Now we get there. Now I'll put it like this. She was supposed to see 100 clients for the day, right? Now, I done already saw all my clients. Now, it's been 4.5 hours since I've gotten to her now. And I get to her, she's only seen 12 clients. Now, on average, it only takes a couple minutes to talk to these clients and get going. So that means pretty much that whole time she really wasn't doing anything at all. But luckily, I wasn't the only one that had to help her. I had a couple of the coworkers who were asked to help as well. And we were able to get that knocked off. Now, it was cooler because the other 2 people that came to help, they were new, so they just had not as many clients as you normally should have. But that was like a cool little bonding moment for us because for them they think the same thing. It's like she really didn't even do anything at all, and it's like we pretty much just picking up the rest of the load for her, But whatever. I'll say all that to say, I can't make this stuff up, like I would love to just go into work and it's like I don't have these stories to tell about my coworkers, but at the end of the day, like my coworkers always find a way to do something that naturally I wouldn't do or naturally I wouldn't get away with. So sometimes I'll be feeling a little way, but at the end of the day it's like let's just get this over with, And that's definitely a thing in the common workplace. There's favorites as well, If your coworker or your manager actually do something that they wouldn't ask anybody else to do, you can kind of, put the pieces together. And if you're someone who's always being asked to do something that other people wouldn't necessarily have to do, well, good news. Well, I don't know if it's good news, but you're not the favorite. I'd hate to break it down to you, but it just is what it is. Now, that's pretty much as far I had to talk about as far as the work schedule goes. But like I mentioned, my brother, he was coming home from Florida. So I wasn't able to make it to the Rib Fest with him and the family on, this was Thursday. No, this had to have been Friday then. Because Saturday, they had a little cookout, he was home, all the homies, our bros, we get together, hang out, we just do what we normally do. We grill a little bit, throw a little cornhole, I don't really drink like that. I mean, on special occasion I will. But I'm not the type of person that's just going to like casually have a drink. But as well, I have a football game in the morning. Our new season started. We won the championship last week, or now 2 weeks ago. And then last Sunday, we had a game as well. But I will get back to that. Let me talk about my Saturday night. Now, like I said, usually when we get together, it's the same thing. It's the fact that we've all been friends for a long time. Obviously, we have a lot of the same interests. And when we get back together, it's always a good time because, we're all pretty much like-minded in the way that we all kind of have similarities about how we think about stuff or what we like to do for fun. Now, everybody has a friend group. It's like certain people like to do this, certain people like to do this. But at the end of the day, when we all get together, we all mesh very well. So it's always good to have, good combos, with the homies. Especially as we get older, we don't get as much time to see each other. So that is always a good thing. Now, this is the first time I probably saw everybody, uh, probably since December when my brother had ended up leaving originally for Florida. I could be wrong, but that's pretty much the first time that we all seen each other. Now, with friend, like when guy friend groups, we don't care about anything new that's going on with you. I'll say it like this, put it in a better example. If you get a new haircut, you get new shoes, you get a new car, you get a new girlfriend. We don't really care about that. If you bring it up to us, we'll have a genuine conversation about it or not, or we're just, talk shit the whole time, or whatever the case may be. We all got the same kind of banter. Like I've been telling y'all, everybody's been noticing I've been losing weight, but I haven't been seeing everybody as much. That's the first thing they say, like, oh, like, you look skinny. You look like, more cut now. I'm like nah, I'm saying, it is what it is, but, breaking down to them exactly what's going on. But I even realizing I haven't seen them since December. I really didn't start losing this weight until like, I want to say it was like mid-April and it's June now. So it's fairly new if I haven't, seen anybody. But just kind of put in perspective how long it's been since I've seen them. It's been a while, and to let y'all know, I've definitely been getting my weight back up. I think last time I talked, I was at like 160. I weighed myself before I record today. 165. We working our way up. I'm gonna get back to like my normal like 185. I'll probably say like that 185, like 190 range. I feel like a little bit more comfortable at that weight, because like me right now at 160, like a windy day is over for me. You know what I mean? Like I definitely get blown away. I'm whatever the case may be. I just don't like being this light. I haven't been this light since I was in high school, but I'm going a little tangent. It's not, a promo for Slim Fast or Herbalife or whatever product y'all like to use to lose weight. This is not that because I haven't been taking any products at all. Y'all been knowing what's been going on, and that's been that. But like I said, been together, with the homies, talking, having a good conversation. So everything, is all good and dandy, a normal night like per usual. But we got to, revisiting about our times back in high school. Now, I have a friend group. Every time we get together, we're not the friend group that's talking about, what happened in high school and stuff like that, because we have, new things going on. There's been stuff that's happened since then. If the high school were the glory days, I can see how, that is still fun to talk about. But we've done a lot more fun stuff since we've been out of high school because one, we're grown, we have the means to do that, and we got a little bit of money, so we can actually. It's not like we got to ask our parents to do. Like we just get together as as a group and dish out whatever we want to do. So we just telling stories about we got an Airbnb for the Super Bowl. This was I want to say this was like 2 or 3 years ago. This is right before I ended up moving down to Florida. But a bunch of us pretty much got the Airbnb. Just pretty much like a 3-day bender of just a lot of drink. But it was a good time. We was gambling and stuff like that because we never done anything like that. Like for us, we usually just go to somebody's house, kick it for a little bit, boom, everybody leaves, we call it a night. But this time we ended up getting an Airbnb. Just kind of switch it up. But like that's kind of what I'm talking about. Just like in high school we didn't do stuff like that. But now that we're older, we're doing stuff like that. But we're talking just about, past high school experience and stuff like that. We ended up getting to talk about like about fight stories and stuff like that. Now, I pretty much know my friends to a good extent, Not everybody in my friend group are fighters, There's some people that that like to argue. You got the people that are a little bit more high-head, and then you got the people that are a little bit more calm. And then if it has to turn to a situation, that's what it'll be. It's gonna be a situation. But the homie he's telling us about, the first time he's only been in one fight. So he's telling us like the first fight he ever had, it was like pretty much he threw like 4 punches in 4 minutes. Now we're all laughing because we know how the homie Shan is, but it's really not a big deal. Cause like some people, you might have a friend group where it's like, you might look down on people who aren't like necessarily like you, but like I appreciate people for who they actually are. Like don't be the person who's acting like, oh okay, boom, if someone said anything, whatever the case may be, like it's gonna be a problem, and then a situation like that happens, and then you don't do anything. That's the type of stuff that I don't like, and that's the type of stuff that I personally would frown upon. I rather you just be open and honest about how you truly are, and then we can go from that. So we don't get ourselves into a situation. Because if I think it's just two dudes, and I want my man who's talking about if it's ever a problem, we gonna handle that. It's like, all right, cool. I got my man. It's gonna be a problem, and then turn to like a 2-on-2, turn to a 2-on-1, and me getting jumped. Because you know what's gonna happen? I gotta whoop my homie's friend. I gotta whoop my homie's ass after that. Not for me getting jumped because he did leave me behind, but because you lied. And I got another story to tell you about that as well, about friends and lying, because I actually did fall out with one of my actual like closest homies, somebody I've been friends with since I was 14 years old. But we don't get back to that. We're telling high school stories now. The other homie's telling a story which I actually I happened to be a part of, just because a situation happened before I saw him in school the next day. So when I saw him, it was kind of wild. So pretty much, let's just say my homie, he was a young entrepreneur in high school, right? Now he met up with some guys, to do some business. He gives the product, and he's supposed to get the funds in exchange, and he doesn't get the funds in exchange. So what's it turn to? It turns to a car chase. The homie ends up chasing these guys for like 4 cities, right? Over $20 a product, right? That's men math for y'all that was trying to figure out like, oh, girl math and men math. That's men math. You chase somebody for 4 cities trying to get $20 back of your product when you done already spent about $20 in gas anyways. But that's men math because that's strictly just off ego. The fact that somebody took something from you, they try to get over on you, that's why he ended up chasing them for 4 cities. But this happened the day before. So the next day, I ended up seeing him. I got a basketball game. He's a grade younger than me. So this is my junior year. So we're dealing with playoffs and stuff like that. So the JV guys aren't necessarily playing, but I was playing, and I was in varsity, so I had a game. So I'm walking, just walking to the gym casually. I see the homie. I'm like, oh, my boy, what's the deal? I see him. But then it's like 4 dudes across them. It's kind of like, I kind of feel the tension. Like, it's kind of like a little awkward, So, I go up to the homie, boom, I dap him up. What's the deal, we had another friend that ended up walking up as well. The homie Chance, he's on the football team. Like, that's like the Chico. Like in high school, if it's about to be like a big brawl, this is the dude you call because he got a brother that's just as big as him as well, and they both like to fight. So it's like, now all of a sudden this 1-on-4 just turned into a 1-on-3. I don't know exactly what's happened, but like the story I just told y'all about, this happened the day before. But like, I don't even know the situation that's going on. But like, I just see the homie, and I see like 4 people like kind of like just like kind of mean mugging. I see him kind of just like standing there, he just kind of, just patiently waiting. You know what I mean? Back against the wall. Protect yourself just in case it really got to go down. Now, nothing ended up happening because just like most people in high school, when a situation turned to like you outnumbering somebody to it being almost even strength or now a disadvantage for you, now don't nobody want to do anything, So surely no, the guys end up walking away. I go to, I think practice or whatever case may be. I think we might have had a game that day because I remember I was in like my full jumper, like I got the black and whatever. I get called to the office the next day, and they pulling up the little security camera, and see, like I'm not gonna lie, I'm not somebody who always got called to the office, but I'm not unfamiliar with being in the office because this isn't the first time that I was getting accused of doing something that I didn't even do. It was another situation where it was a kid, he was like a freshman. I'm a junior in high school, and he was trying to say that I was trying to get some kids from like a rival school to beat them up. But keep in mind, this is like a small kid. Like at this time, I'm probably like 5'6", 5'7" is my junior year, so like, I'm still like stocking. This kid's like maybe 110 pound soaking wet. So the fact that he was trying to lie and say that I was going to get kids from the rival school to beat them up for whatever the case may be, I didn't understand. And when I got called in the office, I told him, I was like, yo, like, why would I get other people to beat him up? Like, I'm looking at it right now, I can beat him up myself. You know what I mean? And they're kind of like, okay. And that situation definitely bothered me as well because I was actually cool with this kid. Like, I wasn't cool like we're best friends, but when I see him, he's kind of like the weird kid. But like, I respect him. You know what I mean? But whatever. Let me get back to the story. Now, I'm back in the office. They're watching this. They're pulling up the security footage. Like, oh yeah, so like, what happened here? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I went up to the homie. It seemed like there was some tension going on. Boom, I dapped him up. It's like, well, what did you hand him? What did I hand him? I ain't got. like a I had to break it down like, oh. I gave him a firm handshake, and that was it. You know what I mean? But they try to make it seem like I try to pass him like a shank or something like that. But it's like, bro, this is a high school. This isn't a prison yard. Why would I be passing the homie a shank for any reason? Why would I have a shank in high school? There was never a situation in high school where I felt like there was a situation that I couldn't just handle with these, right? Why do I need a weapon, let alone a knife? And you're watching the security footage. If I gave him a knife, don't you think you would have saw him have the knife? You know what I mean? Because as soon as I dapped him up, he goes back to his stand. You know, he's kind of just standing and still looking. But whatever. Nothing ended up happening with that. It was just, they're trying to see if whatever the case may be. Like I told him, like, that's my homie. Like, okay, 104, okay, it's 2-4. Like, I'm not gonna let nothing happen to my homie. I don't even know what's going on, but like, I know, like, this is the homie. Y'all kind of looking a little tense right now. So whatever y'all think is about to happen, like, it's not about to happen. Like, I promise you, But that was the whole little situation. Like I said, we're just telling like just fight stories and stories from back in high school. But like I said, these like really been my boys. Like, these like my real homies. Like, we done been in real situations together, so that's why obviously we're still friends now, and this is the first time we really like reconvened on stuff that happened back in the day. But it was definitely funny to mention for sure, because I don't know, just a wild time, honestly. But those are my homies who's been my guys. Even I got homies, I got their flaws, whatever the case may be, but it is what it is. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. It's all good. But like I said, it's all the homies, but like they got a neighbor, they got their next door neighbor who is over, and he's just kind of hanging out. My mom and dad, Daddy Frank, Mama Jen, they end up going into the crib. Like, yo, the neighbor's gonna chill, hang out, have some beers, y'all, all good. And like, we don't really care. Like, if you wanna have a conversation with, like, it's cool. But I'm in the middle of telling the story, and he just comes in, he just gets to talking. And we all just kind of look like, okay, he can't really read the room, but it's not a big deal. We're not really talking about anything too crazy. It's like, it's really is nothing, you know what I mean? But after being there for a while, this like right before we ended up leaving. But okay, I'll put it like this: he made a little joke about voting for Trump or something like that, and when he said it, like, he didn't get like no laugh or chuckle. Now keep in mind, I got homies that mess with Trump, I got homies that mess with Biden, but at the end of the day, I don't have any of my homies who are really just like die hard into politics. Like, politics is something that some of us might have interest in, but it's not the point of reference for all our conversation. It's not like everything we talk about is like, oh, we get some gas. Like, who gas? Gas is super high. Oh, that Biden, he, like, that's not like the type of friend group, because I think that's the best way to keep that friend group close as well, is not having those I don't want to say uncomfortable conversations, but just conversations that you shouldn't just have, because it's always a certain way that it's going to go. So the fact that this guy was kind of bringing it up, I got homie, he messed with, Biden, so he was getting ready, like, not getting ready, he, like, pretty much said something like, yeah, I'm cool on Trump, pretty much. And, like, the guy kind of, like took the hint and kind of, like, left him alone, because that situation definitely could have got super awkward super fast, because, I mean, you guys have probably been there, you guys have been around where it's like a heated political conversation going on, whether you got a dog in the fight or not. You know how kind of how personal it gets, because it gets to a point where it's like you're not even talking about politics, you get to talking about somebody like personally, and that's always going to go left. I don't care who you are or how strong-minded you are or how bad you can hold yourself off from putting your hands on somebody or saying something rude. Every conversation I've always been around when it comes to like political stuff like that, it always goes, one or two ways, But once again, this wasn't even like our homie. This is like the homie's neighbor who just happened to be there. And I mean, he's like in his 50s, you know what I mean? We're all still like in our 20s. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. You just hanging out having beer. And then he ended up having like his other friend, he pulls up on the four-wheeler at 1 o'clock in the morning, like, he thinking the party's still going on. I was like, bro, like, y'all not about to be partying with like some 27-year-olds. Like, y'all didn't even bring no females with y'all either. Like, it'd be cool if y'all wanted to come hang out and then you wanted to bring like some, some old cougars with you or something like that. But y'all came dolo. One meat stick and then you added another meat stick. Like, nah, I am out of here. But I had a football game the next morning, so it kind of ended up working perfectly. Hold on one second. It kind of ended up working. So it kind of ended up working out perfectly. But like I said, the whole politics conversation is always going to be like a weird thing when somebody always tries to rope it in. Now, like I am, I say a religious, spiritual person. I don't know how much all my friends necessarily are, but with that being said, like I'm not the person that's just gonna bring it into every conversation. You know what I mean? You have a good day. It's not like, oh yeah, that's because God did that for you. And I'm not that type of person. Now, if somebody wants to have that conversation and they have something insightful to say, or just like just question or whatever the case may be. Not saying I'm the person that give you the answer, but like I like having conversation like that, and I'm not gonna just have that conversation with people who may not want to have that conversation. Same thing applies when it comes to politics. It's not like a thing they be saying like something I talk about like at the dinner table or something like that, like politics and religious. And I completely agree because it's only going to go one or two ways, and somebody's going to get their feelings hurt pretty much. Now, before we go on any farther, I'm bringing that other part I was talking about having real homies on the other side of this commercial break. All right, now back to what I was saying. I just got to tell you guys about having um real homies that I've been friends with and how we're still, pretty close through fall stuff like that. But I will say that does not happen in every situation. And honestly, it just is what it is. Now I had a situation like that with one of my homies. Well, that's not even my homie no more. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. That's because my thing is like as a friend, it's certain things that you can do and it's not really, a big deal, but at the end of the day, I feel like you should still have respect for your friends and some type of understanding. Now, me personally, I go hard for my friends. I go hard anything what I do when it comes to relationship. No matter if it's family, girlfriend, just the homies, like any type of relationship that I have, like a true relationship, like I truly go hard for. So when I have a situation where how do I put this? What's the best way to describe me when it comes to situation? Just me in relationships as well, or like friendships. Maybe being my friend isn't easy because I go so hard and I do got love and I'm a loyal person. But at the end of the day, I don't take no insubordination. Okay, now as a man, if you are willing to be open and you're willing to be vulnerable with a homie about a situation that you might have a problem with, um, just even having that conversation is going to be tough for most men to have anyways because of how naturally our friendships usually go. It's a lot of ball busting, no diddy, you know what I mean? Like a lot of it's just very different. Like it's like more of a tough love scenario. Like we'll joke on you before we compliment you, just to let you know, like that's how we show that we love you. Now the fact that I even got to this point with this homie that I was able to be like, yo, like I don't really rock with this. Like it makes me feel some type of way. And he's like, all right, boom, cool. Like, we gotta understand, like, yo, if you feel this way, like, I'm gonna make it right so you don't feel weird about that. It's nothing to me for real, but as your homie, if that bothers you, I will make it right. Now, I'm on social media, we're doing my one two, and I just happen to look like someone was supposed to make it right. So like, I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, he didn't do that, and then I'm like, oh, he didn't do that either. So it's like that's insubordination because we just had a conversation. You said you was gonna do it, and then you didn't even end up doing it. So that's what I'm not rocking with. And at the end of the day, like as we get older, like we not gonna keep all our friends that we always have. And I'm perfectly okay with that. Not only am I the youngest sibling, I'm the youngest cousin. Like out of my gender, I'm the youngest person out of my family. You know what I mean? So it's like when it comes to doing stuff, for me, I gotta have something insightful to say around my cousins to even be heard. A lot of times I say something, they don't even respond. That's cool. It's not a big deal. My cousins weren't necessarily always into sports, so when it came to playing sports, sometimes I was left just doing it by myself because they're not interested in that. So with that being said, I don't really care about having a bunch of friends or having to do stuff by myself because I don't need a friend to, go to the park. I don't need a friend to go to the movies. I can do everything by myself. It doesn't matter. My thing is always about protecting my energy and positivity in any way possible. So if you're gonna bring any negativity or take any positivity away from my life, that would simply be the front of the or the end of the relationship. Now we definitely I had a conversation with this person, and the worst thing you can do when you think you have understanding with somebody is when they confront you about it, you are you are just questioning everything with the question. Like you get to act clueless and it's dumb, but it's like, oh, but we had a conversation last time. Oh, it was man. I know, man. I got you, man. You right that's corny. I shouldn't even be doing nothing like that and yada yada yada. Like I'll make it right. So when you say you're gonna make it right, I'm gonna expect you to make it right. Not because you have to, because I'm taking you for your word. You easily could have just been like, oh man, I don't think it's that, like, man, that's not a big idea. Like, man, you just tripping. Like, man, no, I'm just gonna still do my thing. That's cool too. You could have had the option, but when we had the conversations, like you kind of went back on your word. So I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, you get older. People that this has been a homie since I was, 14 years old. But that's it. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be a situation where it's kind of like a rekindling thing because I'll be over with situation, because a lot of times when people fall out, there's no reason for it to have got that way because it's a lot of steps before that could have prevented to do that. And I did that. I was vulnerable with the situation. I let the homie know, and in return, he still chose to do what he wanted to do. So that's perfectly fine. He was a little clueless about the situation. So whenever I see him, I'm definitely gonna have an intense conversation. Let's say the least, just get a reminder, because over text sometimes like the message doesn't necessarily get clear, So when you see people, face to face, arms range distance, you can really, look them in the eyes. I think that's when you can have the best conversation. So when I see the homie, we're gonna have a conversation about his insubordination allegedly. But moving on because I don't want to get too caught up on that. But I do like to give y'all like a little bit of what's going on. I'm pretty open about what's going on in my life. And that's just it is what it is. It's nothing more or nothing less. I think like it's cool to have flaws. If you're a friend, but I don't think it's cool. To purposely like trying to manipulate in one way or another. I'm not for the manipulation. I'm not with none of that. It is what it is. But I was pretty much my weekend. We're gonna get to talk about a little bit. Actually, I'll talk about football in a second. But another thing, when I was around the homies again, like once again, I tell you when I go out now, this become like a topic of conversation about the podcast, and I love the fact that people are actually giving me like insightful takes that they're actually listening to the podcast. Like I really do appreciate that. Like I can't thank y'all enough for the people who actually do tune in like that, and the people making a comment like, "Whoa!" Like I remember watching when we first started, like where you're at now. Like it's gotten so much better. So I definitely appreciate that. I'm gonna stay consistent. I'm just keep trucking and doing my thing, and hopefully you guys like it. And like I told you, I'm not no liar. It's getting bigger and better from the first episode to the episode we got now. We just constantly going up. And I ain't lie to y'all, we got some wall art coming, but I'll reveal this to you guys first. We got the sign. Let y'all know like I'm not lying about what we got going on. I don't know. We might put that joint like right there, joint like that. Like, I don't know. We gonna get it figured out. But like I said, just constantly. Shout out to my boy Rodney too. He's the one that made this sign for me. A homie through another homie. But I definitely like to shop local if I got the chance. Young black man as well. But he really went crazy with this, and I'm glad everything that I asked for. But I'm showing y'all this just to let y'all know I didn't forget. We got the improvements coming, and that just reminded me because the homie had said something about how the podcast is getting bigger and better. And guess what? We ain't slowing up. We still going foot all the way down on the pedal to the metal. We going crazy, and we just gonna keep getting better and better. So once again, I do appreciate you guys. Shout out to homies. And that's another thing, cause now I've been telling you I've been working better, like kind of marketing and like actually like getting it out there. Another thing that I actually did last week was actually sending it to people because even last week I was sending it to people. They're like, oh, like I didn't know like you started. Like I was talking to my cousin and she remember when I was originally planning to start doing it, and the fact that when I sent you the episode, it's like episode 44 already. Like, why aren't you telling me? Yeah, my bad. Like, I got to get better with that, because I just don't want to be like annoying. It's like every time you see a text from me, it's like me sending you the podcast. But at the end of the day, like I do put a lot of time in this, and this is what I got going on. So if it does bother you, if it does annoy you, by any means, you could just not respond. Or if you feel some way about me sending the podcast because I'm trying to get my podcast out there and trying to get it out to the people, you can block me as well. I'm not going to feel no type of way. But that's part of me getting out the comfort zone. Like I said, when I started doing this, it's like, hey, if they come, they watch, they come, cool. But now I'm at the point it's like now you got to give it to people because not everybody is 100% in tune into what I got going on because you guys all have your own lives. Some of you guys might got kids, you got dogs, you work a job, you got a girlfriend she's always accusing you of cheating, you got a boyfriend who's playing basketball for 8 hours a day, you got a boyfriend who's getting a text message from Domino's at 2 o'clock in the morning. Everybody got their own stuff going on, so like, I'm very very aware of that, but I'm just going to give you guys the extra step for the people that actually want the content to make sure that you get the content. Now, another thing you can do so you can make sure you get the comment is like, comment, and subscribe so it'll just pop up on your queue. I sent it to my cousin. He like, man, I sent it to my cousin Corey. He's like, boom, you already late. Like, he sent me a screenshot. Like, he already got it in the queue. Like, I respect that. And I think that's something else I'm going to start doing. Just to shout you guys out for showing the support. If you send me a screenshot of you watching on TV, you got to queue them on your YouTube, iPad, screenshot on your phone. I'm gonna post it on my IG story and I'm tag you as well. Just to let you guys know I appreciate y'all. It's not like a thing. It's like, oh, I'm doing this all by myself. Like I don't want to help out others. And we live in social media era. Everybody want like a little tag on IG. You know what I mean? Just for just to be seen by another new crowd. So that is something I'm definitely going to be doing. Just because I definitely do appreciate you guys. I can't say that enough. This is your first time ever just coming across the podcast, or you're somebody that just found out I'm doing the podcast. I thank you guys, and that'll be a perfect time to give me a like or a comment or subscribe if you rocking with it. I appreciate y'all. And now that's usually how I end off the show, but I just wanted to throw that in while we was already on top about talking about supporting yada yada yada. But let's get back into it. Now, after I had another late night once I left the homie's house, but our football season started again. Now, 2 weeks ago, we won the championship. Now, the thing is, we were supposed to have that championship like, I want to say like 3 weeks prior than when we actually played. But like I mentioned, the league that we are in, there's people who like to travel for these tournaments, West Virginia, Florida, Vegas, wherever. There's a bunch of places that they have these little these flag football tournaments. So that's why the championship got pushed off. But we started again last week. And like I was telling you guys, in the championship game, or for the playoffs, I was only playing defense. Everybody likes to show out when it comes to the playoffs. Everybody wants to show up because everyone wants that hardware, whether it's a shirt, whether it's a trophy, whether it's a ring to put on your finger. People want to be a part of it, right? Now it's back to regular season. We literally only got 3 subs. So you know what that means? I'm back to playing both sides. And I won't lie, we was on defense to start, and I could not get that first win out of me just so I can be cool, boy, until like the second series on defense. But I had another good game. I think I only let one catch go. But literally as soon as we started the game though, they instantly like started drawing. Now I know a couple of these guys just like throughout the league and stuff like that. But one of the dudes I actually know, he went to a school that I played in high school. So it's like one of those people that like a acquaintance, you can say. I know him, but like you're not gonna see me like out at the bar with them or anything like that. You know what I mean? But whole team was fast. They all had wheels. But like I said, they're drawing to start the game. Yada yada yada. It's kind of close. Wasn't a lot of offense going on. A lot of undisciplined stuff. Like as far as getting flags and jumping off sides, stuff like that. Like that, or getting false starts, because that irks me the most. If you are playing football and you are a receiver, there should never be a time where you jump off sides because you're watching the ball. You already know your route. You're not, when you get up to the line, you might dissect. They're getting you inside, you get out, you getting press, you getting the cushion coverage, whatever. But other than that, like there shouldn't be a reason that you jump off sides. And we had a couple plays like that where both our receivers, literally both of them ran at the same time. We're going on two and whatever. Good game, but like I said, they were running their mouth to start the game. Our quarterback, he had a nice little run, and dude ended up pushing him, and then it turned to like a little bit of a scuffle. No hands, just thrown, just like a lot of pushing and stuff. Now, me personally, if someone's talking to me, like I will engage and I will get to talking back. But other than that, I really don't have anything to say. So no one was talking to me, so I really didn't have anything to say. But when the fight starts happening, a little scuff starts happening, I'll get in between, and I'll calmly, I'll push, their guys' way. I'll push my guys' way. But not to be confused, because I am here for peace. I didn't start talking to nobody. I'm not gonna be disrespectful to nobody else. But at the end of the day, we gonna all keep it cordial. We all gonna keep our hands to ourselves. Now, when I say I'm pushing people away, like when it comes to their team, I'm kind of like, even I actually for my team too. Like I'm not touching anybody, but like I'm pretty much like the little velvet rope at the club. You know what I mean? It's just close enough to keep you off like at bay, but it's not necessarily touching. So I'm pretty much doing one of those. Now, like I said, I'm not the one that likes to talk at all, but I'm not touching anybody as well. So with that being said, don't touch me either, because that's how the situation turned up, because I'm a grown ass man. Like, don't put your hands on me at all. Like, I'm gonna keep respectful. I'm not gonna put my hands on y'all. I'm not gonna put your hands on me. Whatever, it's all good. Because most of the time, these dudes don't even want to fight. Most of the time, it's like they got like, an average girlfriend on the sideline watching the game. They trying to show out for them and stuff like that. These be people that don't even fight like outside of football, but they get around, they females get to watch them and stuff like that. And people want to show out, you know what I mean? But I mean, it is what it is. But the situation definitely got brought under control. And this is right before halftime. Now, still kind of slow. I'm gonna get to the end of the story because I don't want to spend too much time on this. But what I will say is, I'm always good for a bounce back. I told you guys about the championship. I didn't really play offense. I got burned for a touchdown. Whatever. After that game, I still didn't have any more mistakes. That was my one mistake. And the second game, like I said, I gotta have a bounce back. Now I'm playing offense. Boom. It's my man. Well, it's funny. His nickname is actually Sosa too, from where he's from. But he's in the slot. I'm playing wide out. He's telling me, yo, I'm about to run a 10 out, 10 and out. Yo, run this post like the hardest post we ever run. I'm like, all right, bet. Like, I'm trusting my teammates. Everybody's got like a good football IQ. So when some of your teammates are saying you do stuff, because we kind of just run free plays for the most of the time, and the QB will find the right guy. But sure enough, I get there. They got a high low. The corner's playing high, and then the safety is playing low. So when he runs to 10 and out, boom, it takes that safety completely out the play. I'm running the post, boom, I dig my foot in, come across. I'm expecting to get the ball. The quarterback still don't throw the ball. I'm trying not to put my hand up because I'm trying to be discreet, but like I just got him so hard on this move. He thought I was gonna break out, do a little flag route. He's gonna do an out route and then do the flag right over top. Dug that foot, boom, went back in the middle. So I'm open, but like he didn't throw me the ball. So like it's a slight hesitation. Now it's another guy. He just ran. I don't know what he ran. He ran a fade or something on the other side of the field. But now he's got his corner on the far hash. So like I can't even run my route like any farther. I gotta break it off. I pretty much just turn this post to like a post curl route. You know what I mean? So I take that post. I'm open. He doesn't throw the ball. I turn and I curl. He ends up just still throwing a rocket. It's a dude. He kind of puts his hand up. He kind of like dismissed. So I'm kind of like seeing it. I'm not in a position where I can kind of get in front of it because I'm already open. But where I'm at, I can kind of play the best of my ability. And that's exactly what I did. But I just kind of like waited. Keep my focus on. Boom. Caught touchdown. And I pretty much sealed the game. They got the ball back on offense. They had like two plays. Quarterback threw it to me. He try to run like a little post route that he beat me on before. None of that. Like I said, you get one and that's it. But yeah, bounce back. This is a new team. They won the rec division last year or last session, so they ended up playing us. They're definitely going to be a good team. They got some speed. But like I said, they're just jawing the whole time. And like I said, I knew the one kid from playing football in high school. Like he didn't even shake our hands like after the game. Like he just kind of like went to the sideline and like I said, like I be falling out with my homies for 14 years. Like you're not even my homie like that. So like I really don't even care. Like you just didn't shake hands. Like, I'm always gonna shake hands. I did that. I kept respectful. But definitely a good bounce back. Now, before we get on out of here, got a couple more things we want to talk about before we actually get out of here. Like I told y'all last week, Power Goes Book 2 is back. Okay. Now it dropped on a Friday. Now I had to work, so unfortunately I wasn't I was gonna watch it at night when I came home, but I wanted to hop on the game and play Madden instead. So That's what I did. So Saturday morning, I woke up early, 8 o'clock, 8:30, got me a little malta meal, got me a coffee. I'm about to chill before I gotta go to work and watch Power. Now, with Power, you gotta hurry up and watch, because if you get on like Facebook or IG, anything like that, the next day, like you're gonna have a bunch of spoilers, right? So that's exactly what I didn't want to happen. I was like, okay, let me go ahead and watch this now, just so I don't have to worry about any spoilers. And what I will say is, great start, great start. Braden caught his first body and then some. So the Braden that we saw last season, a little timid, a little afraid that's not the Braden we getting this season. We getting a full reformed Braden, and I made this comment already. I think Braden is gonna be he gonna like I said, he the coldest white boy in the Power universe, and I'm sick of that. I mess with Tommy, and Tommy is that guy, but Braden doing it at a young age. Until they drop the Power series, when they talk about Tommy and Ghost when they're younger, then I'll prove something different, because they only like 21 at this point, 22, and Tariq probably got like 12 bodies now, like 12. I might be selling them short, but he got a lot of bodies already as it is. Now Braden just caught his first body, so like now he done shot Kane. It's getting crazy. Reek got another body. If you guys are in tune with the Power series, Angela, the one Ghost used to be piping, her nephew is now, working with the feds, officially, and he was told to kind of stay off it, but he still tried to pursue it. And Tariq pretty much is called his auntie, like his dad's side girl, and then Reek ends up shooting him, giving one headshot. He's out of there. So it's already going crazy. Tariq can already kill the federal prosecutor or investigator or whatever you want to call it. And this all happened just in the first episode. Now, I'm not going to give too many spoilers. Like, that's just the only spoilers I'm going to give y'all, just because, like I said, if y'all not watching, I don't know what to tell you. Like, just if you actually are going to watch it, and by the time it drops, it's going to be a Thursday. If you waited a whole week to watch it, you're not that committed to watching it, which is cool. But just like I said last week, and so for the following week, I'm going to give y'all a little power rundown every episode that drops the following week. Just keep y'all in tune with a good TV show. That's 50 Cent, a great black mogul. This is his show produced. So we're going to show some love for sure. As far as what the next episode has, I don't know what that next episode is going to be. I don't know where they're going to go, because Rick really doesn't have a plan. But is Noma, the Tejadas, and then Effie as well, and that one dark dude that Noma be rolling. I forget his name, but that's how the season looks like it's going. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but that's why the show is so great, because even when you don't know, when it finally happens, you be like, man, they're so smart for how they place it. Like, they so really in tune to what's going on. So that's really all I got to say about that. Next episode, we'll definitely talk about a little bit more of what's going on when it comes to that. But for now, that's all we got against Hand and Power. If you guys don't have it, you guys want to keep up while I go through the podcast and we watch. They got it on Stars. I think it's like $6.99 or like $9.99 a month. Not bad. You got to think they're gonna drop, once a week. So you get an episode for pretty much $1.99 a piece. Pretty much, that ain't bad. But before we get out of here, I like to do a segment called "Things I Briefly Cared About." And speaking of, I'm just gonna start with Tariq, because it was a situation that happened. And when I say Tariq, I'm talking about Michael Rainey Jr. It was a situation that happened. He was assaulted in a non-consensual way on live stream. Whatever you're doing in the live stream, this girl comes up. She's like kind of whispering in his ear, and she's kind of like reaching for my man's family jewels while he's on the live stream. Now, if this roles reversed, it would be a big deal. If a man did that to a woman on a live stream, like, people would be talking about, how messed up this is. Now, this girl is getting it a little bit, but not nearly as much as it'll be if the roles reversed. All I want to say about the situation is, I definitely felt bad. It's like, why you feel bad for a woman grabbing on the man's shoes? Like, we don't like that. That's not the point. Like, if you don't want a girl to be grabbing on you, she shouldn't be grabbing on you. What is your out to a situation like that when a girl is touch you in an unwanted way? what is your next step? And if you watch the video, you see he's like uncomfortable. He's not trying to like really, push her away or be physical, because when he does that, then it's his fault. Oh, you shouldn't have reacted like that. You should have just walked away and yada yada. He's on a live stream. He's supposed to be in camera view. He can't just walk away, because then they're gonna look, Michael Rennie, he letting that Power Goes book 2 check get to him. Like, he just not even respecting the live stream. No, it's not even a situation like that. I think it's cold that girl ended up doing to him. But we got to keep the same energy for everybody, because at the end of the day, like I said, if the roles were reversed, it would not be okay. That's all I want to say about the situation. It's not cool, and I'm not even gonna say your name, but you're wrong. You know you're wrong. I know. They won for the cloud. Power Book 2. That's crazy how this happened. Like shortly after Power Book ended up dropping, but Mike Green spoke about it, said how uncomfortable he was, yada, yada, yada. Let's just respect, not only respect men, but let's just respect everybody's personal space and not just be grabbing up on people, you know what I mean? Because she doesn't know, like, if she would have grabbed on to another guy like that, how he would have reacted. He could have got physical with her, but just keep everybody safe. Y'all been learning that since y'all was kid. Keep your hands and your feet to yourself. Don't be touching nobody. Everybody too grown to be touching on anybody. And we just gonna keep it at that. Jerry West died. RP. 4-4 to go. I'm not gonna say he'd go, but he was the NBA logo, so that's gotta stand for something. So RP to Jerry West. I forgot I died. I think they say he might have died from cancer or something like that. He was definitely older. Don't quote me on that. I don't know 100% what he died for. Like I said, this is a segment called Things I Cared Briefly About, not Things I Cared Intensively About. So I'm just giving you kind of a rough rundown. You can go fact check yourself and see exactly the cause. And you're probably looking, why don't you look it up? You got a computer. Because we're not doing that right now. We got about 4 minutes before we got to end the show. And I'm not going to spend it looking it up on how Jerry West died. Just know that he died. RP, condolences to his family. It's never easy lose somebody in general. I don't know the man, but you are the NBA logo, so you have played an intricate part into a lot of athletes' lives. So RIP to you, Mr. West. And then we got Boston is up 2-0 on the Mavs. Now, I really don't got no dog in this fight, like I've been saying. I don't think it's going to be a sweep, though. Obviously, it's going to be some bounce back for sure. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know that Boston's up 2-0 on the Mavs. If some of y'all care, if you don't like getting into sports betting and stuff like that, I don't know which way you should lean towards. I don't know if you come to this podcast to get some more insight about what's going on in the sports world, but I will say I don't have any any lock picks to give you. But once again, about to get out of here. If this is your first time tuning into the podcast, I appreciate you, and I hope it was enough content to make you want to come back and rock with Shaboy. And if you are a recurring viewer, I'll be rocking. Shout out to y'all. Y'all really show me love and support. I'm gonna keep going. We got a year, a podcast coming up in about a month on July 15th. I don't know if I should be able to record on that day, depending on whether it falls. But we've been moving and grooving since I started. I haven't stopped, and we just gonna keep going like that, because that's how we rock. But if I get a like, a comment, a subscribe, because this has been another episode of the We Here Now podcast. I've been your host, Mar the Cameraman. Follow me on IG or follow me on just stick to IG. We're gonna keep growing. We're gonna keep rolling. But yeah, and we out there. It's been another episode. I'm gonna say that again. But like I said, we're authentic. I might forget to say it. I might repeat it. I might not. But like I said, yeah, sure. I'm not yelling in the mic no more. I'm gonna find a different way to throw this out, but I'm not yelling into the mic anymore. It's been another episode. Psh.